In this lesson, we are going to talk about database administration using the MySQL monitor.
All right, and what is that?
Well, the MySQL monitor is a command line utility that is used to connect to a MySQL server and work with databases and tables.
Oh, I see. So is it just pretty much just monitoring it, just looking at it? I mean,
no, it's a fully featured tool for working with data within a database.
Okay,
you can use it to create tables. You can use it to delete tables. You can actually use it to create databases, and you can use it to work with the data that is contained within tables.
Oh, okay, I see.
Now, if you wish to start using the MySQL monitor and follow along with this video, then once again you have to consider what your current situation with the MySQL server is. If you're running your own local MySQL server, then the MySQL monitor binary is located in the same directory as the actual server files.
You mean from where you downloaded it earlier?
Right. If you had downloaded it early and installed the whole thing, had
Okay.
the MySQL server up and running, it's located within the same directory.
I gotcha. Okay.
Simply called MySQL. If you're following along with this video and you do not have a local installation of the MySQL server, like is the case with this video, we do not have a MySQL server running on this computer.
Okay.
And you wish to follow along, you'll need to obtain the MySQL executable.
Okay.
So to do that, you go to mysql.com and over into the download section, just like if you're going to install the full server.
Okay.
We're going to jump into the MySQL version 5.0, and from this section, remember we had a bunch of different types of installations.
Right.
And since we're running on Windows, we're going to focus on the Windows downloads.
All right.
And we saw earlier we had a download that was without the installer.
Right.
This is very convenient because we can just extract the MySQL monitor out of this.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So let's jump over to Pick a Mirror. Let's look.
Because you want to get just like a specific file out of it.
That's right. In this case, we're only interested in the MySQL monitor. And it's convenient to not have to install the entire server.
I gotcha. Okay.
So let's grab one of the mirrors, and this seems to work just fine.
Okay. Now
you see we have already saved this out. We did this just to save time for the video.
Yeah, because I don't think you guys want to watch this download, so.
Yeah, it could get a little boring.
Yeah. We have a fast connection, but not, super ultra speed.
So let's say that is just finished, and let's jump over to that Q drive where we had downloaded the file. And here we have the MySQL no install version zip file.
All right.
So let's load that up. Let's navigate into the MySQL folder. From there we have the bin folder. And inside of that we have mysql.exe.
Okay.
This is the MySQL monitor.
I gotcha.
So I'll simply extract that using drag and drop back out into this Q folder. We can close out the archive. We're done with it now.
Okay.
So how do we use this? Once again, the MySQL monitor is a command line utility, so we'll need to load up a command prompt.
Okay.
So here's our command prompt. Let's switch over to that Q drive, and now we can run MySQL.
I see.
Now, before we run it, we're going to need to specify some flags. If we run it with no arguments, what's going to happen is it's going to look for a MySQL server on our current machine.
Okay.
And if you're not running one, then it's, of course, going to fail and tell you that it couldn't connect.
Oh, so in other words, if you don't give it any specifications, this is going to assume, just try and look for the best place to put it.
That's right.
Okay.
So, in our case, we want to connect to that DS3 server that we've been using for all the PHP pages. So to do that, we'll first type in MySQL.
Okay.
Now, we need to specify which host we're going to connect to, which server. So we'll use -H to specify DS3 as the host we wish to connect to.
Okay.
Now, the server we have running on DS3 requires that you use a username and password to connect to it.
Okay.
Much like the one in the web design one, if you followed using that account,
for the first VPN.
that also requires your username. In that case, the username would be the same username you use with your FTP account.
I got you.
Same username and password.
All right.
For us, since we're working on the logging site, that is simply going to be logging.
Okay.
So we'll say -U to specify the user and type in logging. Now, once again, the password is required, so we'll specify -P. Now, we're not going to immediately type the password in.
Okay.
We're going to leave it blank, and what that'll do is it'll ask for the password and then mask it with asterisks. Just kind of convenient, more of a standard password input method.
I gotcha, okay.
One final thing I'm going to do is add -B, and this is just a personal preference. This will keep the MySQL monitor from producing beeps when errors occur.
Oh, I see. So the internal speaker won't be beeping and...
Exactly.
I gotcha. Just so that you won't be annoyed.
Pretty much. So let's run this, and it's asking for the password. So let's see, we'll type in the password for our logging account.
Okay.
And it may delay a little bit. It does that sometimes.
I see.
And there we go. We are logged in. It says, welcome to the MySQL monitor.
Oh, look at that.
So that's it. We're in. We're now sitting at a MySQL prompt, and this would allow us to interact with the database.
Okay.
Now, one thing I want to point out is throughout this VTM, we've been talking about the account provided in Web Design 1.
Mm-hmm.
If we wanted to connect to that instead, let's exit out of our current session.
Right.
Now, if we wanted to connect to your web account,
mm-hmm.
that server is web.3dbuzz.com. And once again, I have a logging account on there.
Okay.
So we'll give it the password, and it lets us in. So now, instead of connecting to the one that we have on the network here, we've actually connected to the official web.3dbuzz.com server.
So how come you are connecting to the one that's here instead of 3dbuzz.com?
It's just a convenience factor. It keeps everything together on the network, and it smooths out a few things for recording purposes.
Oh, I see. So in case something goes wrong on the internet itself,
right. If we hit an internet blip, it doesn't interfere with recording.
Yeah. So you guys won't hear us curse for like 3 hours.
There is that.
Yeah.
So with that is all we needed to look at in this lesson. Once again, just a quick overview to get you up and running with the MySQL monitor so that we can go about taking a look at further database administration. So with that, that's going to wrap up this lesson.
All right.